Once upon a time, this the memory. It's like synergy. Life the hardest teacher y'all could ever get the master. Get a test first, then y'all get that lesson after. Steve's never stressing them G's to freeze egos. Please, I just get them in threes, like the Migos.
What's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome y'all back to the Diagnosed Success Podcast. I'm your host, K Sparks. It's a blessing to be a blessing. We are blessed and highly favored. And I appreciate y'all tuning in every week, man. It's all love. I love this podcast. I love y'all for tapping in, you know what I'm saying, like every week. And it's much love as always, man. But before we get into today's topic, as always, we're going to start off with the word of the day. Something motivational, inspirational, get you through your day, your week, your life. You know what I'm saying? So this word of the day, I love it. I live it, I preach it, I teach it. It goes, you can choose your actions, but you can't choose your consequences. I like that. I'll say that again. You can choose your actions, but you can't choose your consequences. I think this word of the day is pretty straightforward. I think that it's something that everybody can vibe with and they can dig at the end of the day. You know, ultimately, we all have the power of choice, right? That's your superpower. Every day that you wake up, you have the power of choice. And you have the power to choose what are you going to do with the 24 hours that are in front of you. Everybody has that choice. You can choose to be productive or you can choose to be destructive. Choice is up to you, right? It's like, you know, you can get up every day, wake and bake. You could roll up. You could choose to smoke weed every single day of your life. But just understand, if you're not being productive outside that, you're going to be a weed head, bruh. You know what I'm saying? You can choose to get up, eat fast food every day and don't exercise. But guess what? You're going to be sloppy and looking crazy out here in these streets, right? So you can choose your actions, but you can't choose your consequences. And every day, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't encourage you to exercise your superpower of choice and make sure that you're making the right choices. That's important, right? Make the right choices every day. So, you know, your future self will be grateful for the decisions that you made today. All right. And that is the word of the day. But for today, we're going to get into a topic that is hot on the streets right now. Y'all know I don't clout chase, but any topic that I like, that I feel, that I can vibe with, we going to do that. Right? So we're going to talk about Drake suing Universal Music Group, right? We're going to talk about that. And we're going to dig a little deeper than most people because I see a lot of people doing their vlogs and all that. And that's cool, but they don't do it like us, all right? Because we're going to break it down. I'm a lyricist. I'm in the bars. I'm in the hip hop. I love this culture. Born and raised in South Jamaica, Queens, New York. Nothing but MCs come from Queens, come from New York, period, right? So talking about Queens rappers, Nas, Run DMC, 50 Cent, Cool G Rap, Mobb Deep. I mean, the list goes on and on. Pharrell Monch, what we talking about? So, you know, I grew up in this culture. I love this culture and just the art of emceeing, right? So, this is very different because we haven't seen anything like this, you know, with Drake suing Universal with all of this Kendrick stuff, right? So let's get right into it, right? I made a couple of notes that I'm going to get into, then I'm going to dig a little deep to give y'all my perspective, right? So Drake files this lawsuit against Universal Music Group and Spotify, right? He's alleging that they playing dirty, y'all. It's garbage time. They playing dirty, that they're boosting Kendrick streams and they are bots. And Drake is alleging that a lot of people that were for him, that Universal fired them, can say, get them out of here, right? We want all Kendrick's people here. And in the lawsuit, he's seeking the preservation and divulgence of information that might be used as evidence, right? In this pay for play scheme. And he include iHeartMedia. And basically he's tight that Kendrick, you know, this song, They Not Like Us, got over like 900 million streams. So it's out here going crazy in these streets. And he feels away. So it's two sides to this, right? The first side is the MC side, right? Like, I love hip hop. I love the art of battling and MCing in its purest form, right? I think like we've seen, whether it's Jay-Z and Nas, you know, Biggie and Tupac, God rest their soul. There was a lot of like great battles that we saw in hip hop. This is the first time where it's like someone lost a battle and now they're suing. All right, this is crazy, B. We've never heard or seen anything like this, right? They're saying it's like Drake is like a Karen, right? He lost the battle and he's calling the cops. All right, this is what it is, right? He's saying they playing dirty. This is very interesting. So I had just a couple of notes in here, but the first thing I will say is that this really reminds me of what happened between Ja Rule and 50 Cent, right? And the similarities are very, very similar, right? Ja Rule was a huge artist, megastar, writing records for people, singing on tracks. Some would even say a pop star, right? The way he was able to cross over to mainstream media. Drake the same way, right? Drake was writing these records, big star, nothing was bigger than him. And then in Ja Rule's situation, here came 50, right? And 50 had great records, but he also had the street edge. So he was speaking to the streets, and he came for Ja's neck. And Ja, feeling he had to defend himself, rightfully so, because this is hip hop. Nobody's gonna take, somebody just coming at their neck, right? And not do anything. So he defended himself. He made Clap Back. He made New York. He was going crazy on the mixtapes, doing a lot of diss records back and forth. But 50 was a force, you know what I'm saying? And just came through and just dominated and took over. And the similarities are just so similar between how Drake was dominated and Kendrick came through. Now, one thing I will say is this. The They Not Like Us record is a dope record, right? But I do feel, a conversation that people aren't having is that, people love the underdog, right? This is real talk. People love the underdog. And a lot of times people love the underdog because we identify with that, right? So what I mean by that is on a day-to-day basis, you're trying to get it for yourself and you're trying to get it for your loved ones. So if you got kids, you're trying to get it for your kids. You know what I'm saying? If it's just you're trying to get it for Dolo. But regardless of that, you're trying to get to it, right? Because you're the underdog. And this is corporate, right? And this is you, right? You're the little guy, but every day you're trying to get at it. And when we see entertainers, when we see athletes, whoever, that we view them as an underdog, subconsciously we see ourselves in them, right? So we root for the underdog. I know me, myself personally, I always root for the underdog. And that's just us, right? So I think like in battles, to be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, we all root for the underdog, right? We want to see them win, right? Because it's like we want to see ourselves win in our own personal lives, right? Against, Big Brother or, the big corporations, whatever, your job, whatever it is, you want to win too. So we want to see them win. And I think that, to be honest with you, people just got tired of Drake winning. A lot of times, when you climb that trajectory, love turns into hate over time. Because when you take an independent, unsigned artist, you're like, yo, I love this artist, man. This artist is fire. And you take someone like Drake, right? I remember hearing him for the first time. He had a mixtape called Room for Improvement. And my man Drew put me on to that. And I was like, yo, who's this kid? Because around this time, I heard him for the first time with Lupe Fiasco when Lupe had Kick Push. So I'm hearing both of these guys. I'm like, I like their stuff, man. And I like this stuff. He was rapping with this kid named Nicholas F. They was getting busy. I rock with it. I'm rooting for this kid because he's in the space, the underground space. I want him to win. Then he got the deal with Wayne. And, he put out So Far Gone. That blew up. Then he started to get more success and more success. So now he came from the underground and he's getting more commercial success. And what happens a lot of times with these artists is that they start to get so far removed from what we originally liked them for, right? So they go from these artists that are struggling to now they made it to now they're just super successful. And then what happens? There's like a disconnect between the core base to where they become now. So now you're so far detached from your fan base because you popping the champagne, you flossing on social media, flossing all your millions. These people can't relate to that. So now they feel disconnected, right? So now you no longer, for lack of better words, have an attachment to them. They can't vibe with you. So what do? They look for the next best thing that they can vibe with, right? Thing about Kendrick is that he's very relatable. Kendrick doesn't flash his wealth in your face. Kendrick talks about the struggle. He talks a lot of pro-black. He talks that talk. And I think that helps with his connection with people. You know, I think Drake kind of, for lack of better words, became so far gone, right? People no longer really felt that attachment to him because he was so huge and so commercial. So there was a lot of people who's like, yo, bro, we tired of you winning, man. You win all the time. You know what I mean? And the music was good that Kendrick was putting out. So I think that played a part in it too. Like I said, the timing of this for Drake is really bad because at the end of the day, it's like he looks like a Karen. It's like, all right, you went into the battle and you was with it. And then when you started losing and you finally lost and it didn't go your way, then you popped off, you know? So it just looks bad, right? The timing of it. Because you got to ask yourself, well, bruh, if you won the battle, would you still be suing, you know? And full disclosure, you know, I put out a record, maybe like a year and a half ago on Universal Records with the Temptations joint. So I ain't got no problems with Universal, man. We good over here. You know what I'm saying? I want to put that out there for full disclosure. But, you know, Drake is alleging some things. He's alleging that when, I guess people would use Siri to say, hey, Siri, play this Drake record, Loverboy or whatever, that it would play They Not Like Us instead, right? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Like if that's really what it is, right? So, you know, he's alleging foul play, dirty play. So, you know, we got to see how this plays out. What I do feel, though, to be perfectly honest with you, either way it goes, regardless if he wins the lawsuit or he loses the lawsuit, I think he loses either way. And I say that because, you know, hip hop is a culture where, you know, it's very particular when it comes to certain things, right? You know, respect, MCing, certain codes. And it just seems like, you know, it's coming across as if he's a sore loser at this point, to be perfectly honest with you. And it's not helping his cause one bit, you know? So, I mean, where does his career go from here? I mean, obviously he's not hurting for money, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's not about the bread, right? Sometimes it's about the respect. And at this stage, nobody respects him, I would say, except for his core fan base, right? They're always gonna ride with him. But he's just going out like a sucker, man. You know, to be perfectly honest with you, like, it's not a good look. Whether it's true or not, with the allegations in the lawsuit, we'll see how that pops off. But yeah, it's just a bad look right now, man. He's not looking good in these streets. To be honest with you, I feel like he was in a lose-lose situation regardless, because you got Kendrick calling you out. He's like, you know, motherfuck the big three. It's just big me, right? So when someone says something like that and comes for your neck, what do, right? If you a true MC, you're going to go at it. So I can respect him for the fact that he did step up to the plate. J. Cole stepped up to the plate too, but then he doubled down. Yeah, that was nasty work. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, he put out his record. It was good. And then he took it down. He apologized at his Dreamville Fest or whatever, saying, oh, you know, it didn't sit right with his spirit. But this is hip hop, my boy. This is what it is. This is MCing. What you talking about? Like, nah, man, somebody come for you. Yo, you come back. You know, I didn't think J. Cole was wrong for doing what he did. You know, if someone said, motherfuck the big three, it's just big me. And to the masses, you're known to be a part of that big three. You did what you're supposed to. This is hip hop, man. This is what it's about. You know, it's no white flags when it comes to MCing. It's like, yo, we want to see that, you know? So, I mean, I can say, at least in that regard, Drake did step up to the plate, you know? I think that in hindsight, even though he did step up to the challenge, he should have sat this one out. Because I think the ripple effect of everything that happened after that, it wasn't worth it to his career, you know? Because you got to think about it. If he never responded, right, what would have happened? Kendrick probably never would have put out that record, They Not Like Us. He wouldn't have went as hard as he did. And, you know, they would have just continued to coexist. Kendrick would put out his albums like he's been doing, like every 2 years or whatever. Drake would continue to dominate the charts, writing them, collaborating with artists, and that would have been that. So I think the lesson in this also, though, is that sometimes, you know, you got, well, not sometimes, all the times, you gotta have strategy over emotion. You can't let things emotionally make you respond, right? So even though this is hip hop and it's good to defend yourself as an MC, you also gotta read the room though, right? And you gotta be aware of the players and you gotta be aware of the situation to make the best informed decision. And I think right now, yeah, Drake is looking crazy out here, man. Looking crazy. So yeah, this whole thing is certainly a moment in time that we've never seen in hip hop. You know, imagine Biggie hitting Tupac with a class action lawsuit for making Hit 'Em Up. You know what I'm saying? This is bonkers, B. We've never heard of this before. So this is interesting. We're gonna see how this plays out. But I want to hear y'all thoughts, man. You know, y'all always give some great feedback, man. So I want y'all to sound off in the comments. What y'all think about it? What y'all feeling? Who's your, you know, if you got a dog in this fight, you know, you rooting for Kendrick, you rooting for Drake. You know, is Drake out of pocket for this lawsuit? You know, is he acting light-skinned by suing, right? So I want to know. I want to hear from y'all, man. Talk to me. Talk to me nice. Let me hear what y'all got to say, man. You know, and that's it, man, for now. But until next time, peace.